Hello, sisters, and welcome. My name is Catalina Rivera Dois. I'm a Feminine Mysteries mentor, and I hold a space here at the Fascinating Feminine Flow. And today, I'm going to be addressing another request from our community. I've had several sister requests that I start talking about yoni eggs. So for those of you who are not familiar, yoni eggs are crystals shaped like an egg, traditionally made out of jade, though you can also find them in other materials like rose quartz and obsidian are like the most common. And they've been part of mostly Eastern trainings that where women would use these eggs inside their yonis for several reasons, and we're going to go over them. But traditionally, it was mainly used to increase sensitivity in the vagina, inside the yoni, and to build supple strength within her. Okay, and this would, result in, amongst other things, a more pleasurable sex life. Okay, and more intense, prolonged orgasms. So that's just part of the story. Now, nowadays, why do I find that this is a really important tool for any woman to have? Beyond what I just described, there is a very real and documented benefit of using a yoni egg internally for those reasons that I mentioned. One is it increases sensitivity. Okay, doing exercise with a yoni egg helps you become more sensitive within, and that allows you to be more open to pleasure and for pleasure to be heightened when you are within a sexual relationship with yourself or with a partner. Okay. The other part that is therapeutic is that doing exercises with a yoni egg also helps you work both on the strength and the relaxation of those muscles. The pelvic bowl, our perineum, is an intricate webwork of muscles, right? And it's not just like we always hear of Kegel exercise, and that just exercises a specific band. There's so many more muscles that interweave to create that pelvic floor. And it's not just about strengthening, it's about strengthening and relaxing and allowing these different muscles to relate to each other in a harmonious way. Because nowadays women have as many problems from muscles that are too lax as muscles that are too tight. Actually, if you talk to most kind of pelvic floor specialists, nowadays there's a vast majority of the problems actually comes from over-tightened pelvic floor muscles. So the first invitation, if you decide to approach this, is to really inform yourself and to try to approach this from a neutral point of view, stepping away from this kind of mainstream philosophy of, tighter and it's better, because that's not always the case, especially for a yoni. We want our yoni to be able, yes, to contract powerfully for those deep, pleasurable orgasms, but you also want her to be able to relax and open. It's in that contraction and relaxation that pleasure and health of our yoni and of our sex life occurs. Okay, so the relaxation is just as important as the contraction piece. We want that balance. Okay, and the yoni egg, and using the yoni egg helps us develop exactly that. Those exercises combine both of those aspects. So it's like exercising muscles that you usually don't think about, but they're tremendously important. And they're important not only for your sexual health, but for the health of all the organs we hold in our pelvic bowl. Okay. So those are like the physical benefits. And of course, as I said, the more conscious you are of your muscles and the more sensitive they are, the more intense your orgasms and the more pleasurable your sex life, which is always a good thing, right? Now, beyond that, the piece that I find most beneficial about these eggs and why every woman should have this is that The yoni egg allows us to enter in relationship with an aspect of our body that we usually have very little relationship with. We, again, this is not every woman, but for a vast majority of us, our yonis, specifically our vagina, is a place where we don't necessarily go. Our partners may go in there, our doctors go in there, but we generally don't have a direct relationship with our vaginas. And this connects to very deeply ingrained subconscious patternings that have been in play in our world for a very long time, where our vaginas are for the pleasuring of others, or where we've dissociated completely from what happens there when we sit in a medical table, right? So the developing a practice with the yoni egg is a very safe way of starting to relate once again with our vaginas and reclaiming it as our own. For most of us, the first venture inside our bodies through our vaginas was not through our own doing. It was somebody else kind of came in and conquered, right? This is a way of reconquering your body. It is a way of saying this aspect of my body is mine, and starting to relate to it again. So there's deep energetic healing and psychological power to just that act, to being penetrated, but by yourself through love. And with no ulterior motive, because this isn't a pleasure practice per se. You're not masturbating. This is a healing practice. This is taking care of your yoni. It is getting to know her. It is having exercises to help her, strengthen and relax. It is spending time with yourself and allowing yourself to really explore what you hold there. And that's the other piece. As women, we hold so much, wounding and patterning and beliefs in our yonis, in every part of it, including our vaginas. And this is a very powerful way of tapping into that. Okay, so when we create a practice around this, when we're regularly visiting our vaginas, right, regularly coming into her, noticing what comes up, how hard or how easy it is. Noticing, because also when you start your practice, for example, with the yoni egg, we don't just kind of shove this up like we've done for most of our lives with no regards to her. There's a specific exercise to allow the egg to easily kind of be sipped up by the body. And we get to explore that whole range of hell no, I'm not ready for anything, right? To not quite, to something, to it being organic and fluid and nice, to, oh yes, wonderful, beautiful, right? So we start to create this space where we can really tune in to our body in this very intimate way, where we can reclaim her, where we can stop and listen to her signals, to what she needs. And she does speak back. It's really powerful, because as you listen, you begin to hear in your mind all the stories, all the woundings, all the events that have happened that are still held there, that our body is still holding as trauma. And because you are bringing your energy and your attention in a very loving way, that in itself is allowing those things to heal. And the egg is made out of jade. Or another crystal. I would highly recommend jade to start off with, because it's a very healing and also very neutral energy. But the crystal itself, emits energy medicine and will help. Just the presence of the egg itself will help bring healing in. So that is, in broad terms, why I feel every woman should have a yoni egg and start a practice. And just to recap then, benefits are increased sensitivity and strength, increased supple strength, so strength and flexibility. Then there is healing of trauma, of patterning, of subconscious wounds that we hold. And there is this reclaiming that happens, reclaiming of our bodies and creating this beautiful space where we can start to relate to our bodies as a sacred temple. This is where we anchor these beautiful beliefs, right? Because everybody here on this page, to some degree, is on board with this idea that it's not an idea, it's a truth. The truth that our body is a temple. But it's only an idea until we actually bring it down into physical form, until we anchor it with actions, with practicality. And the body needs that. This is a practice that allows you to honor this at a very physical level. So can you enter into this practice? Can you relate with your yoni, with your vagina, in a way that is in complete alignment with the fact that your body is a temple? Can you enter her with love? Can you enter her with respect? Can you enter her with deep listening for when she is ready and when she is not, and honor that? That's all other things that happen with a practice. You may be all set and gung-ho to start, and she may say, no, you know what, I'm not ready. Can you listen to that? Can you give yourself the time without judgment to work through whatever is needed? So there is deep love, and there is a deep wealth of things that can unfold simply from engaging this, little practice. Okay. Now, for those of you who want to go deeper, I'm going to place a link below the video to where I buy my yoni eggs from. She has she's Saida Desolé. She's dedicated her life to this. She's a very trustworthy source in terms of where she gets her crystals, where her jade eggs, as well as the wealth of information that she provides, soundly based not only in Eastern philosophies, but as well as medicine and pelvic floor studies. So I'll leave that resource for you below. And if there are any questions, again, please comment below. I'd love to hear. Do you have a yoni egg? Do you love your practice? If you don't, where are you? Do you have a question, any other questions that you'd like me to dive into in the coming weeks? All my love, many blessings, and happy yoni egg practice and self-pleasuring practices and moon times and all the feminine mysteries. All my love. Bye-bye.